Maya Chen stood at the viewport of Outpost 47, watching alien ships drift past like metallic clouds in a cosmic wind. Her eyes, augmented with self-modified scanner tech, picked out the flaws in their supposedly perfect designs. The aliens never seemed to notice how their own rigid thinking limited what their technology could achieve. The outpost hung at the edge of civilized space, a gathering point for 17 different species and their various technologies. To most of them, it was just another refueling stop on the way to more important destinations. To Maya, it was the perfect laboratory. "Warning," chirped AI, her cobbled-together AI assistant. "Incoming inspection from Galactic Regulatory Commission. Recommended course of action. Hide everything interesting." Maya smiled, not moving from her viewport. How many inspectors this time? 3. Leading agent is X-427, notorious for citing human facilities for dangerous innovation practices. The doors to Maya's workshop hissed open, revealing 3 towering figures. The lead inspector, X-427, was a Venloxian, all sharp angles and crystalline appendages. Their species had written half the galaxy's engineering regulations, and they took immense pride in that fact. Mechanic Chen, X-427's translated voice crackled through the air. "We have received reports of unauthorized technological integration at this facility." Maya turned, gesturing to her spotless workshop. "Feel free to look around, though I should warn you, business has been slow. Hardly anything to inspect." The inspectors spread out, scanning every corner with their regulation-approved devices. Maya watched them pass over her most interesting projects without a second glance. They never thought to look for the patterns she discovered, the way different species cast off tech could resonate together if you understood the underlying harmonics. "Your power consumption exceeds standard parameters for a level C repair facility," X-427 noted, mandibles clicking in suspicion. "Faulty meter," Maya replied smoothly. "I filed a repair request last week. Would you like to see the documentation?" She had, in fact, filed that request, right after carefully modifying the meter to show exactly the readings that would concern them without rising to the level of a serious violation. Sometimes the best way to hide was to show them exactly what they expected to see. As the inspectors continued their sweep, Maya's eyes drifted to the small storage room they hadn't bothered to check. Behind its walls lay the pieces of her real work, fragments of a puzzle the galaxy's brightest minds didn't even know existed. It had started 3 years ago, when she'd noticed something odd about the defective components various species discarded. The flaws weren't random. They followed patterns that suggested these weren't failures at all, but parts of a greater whole no one had thought to look for. "Your facility barely meets minimum standards," X-427 finally declared. "But it meets them. You will receive a formal warning about your power usage." "I appreciate your thoroughness," Maya said, bowing slightly. She waited until they were gone before turning to one of her work tables. "Aria, bring up Project Harmony, please." The air filled with floating holographic schematics, fragments of technology from a dozen different species, arranged in ways that would give any regulatory inspector immediate cardiac arrest. But Maya saw the beauty in it, the way each piece could complement the others if you just stopped treating them as separate things. "They still don't see it," she murmured, rotating a particular configuration with practiced gestures. Every species developed their technology in isolation, convinced their way was the only right way. But what if they're all right? What if the real breakthrough is finding how they fit together? "Incoming transmission," Aria announced. "Message from Dr. Harrison at Europa Station." A familiar face appeared in Maya's field of view, another human mechanic, one of the few who shared her suspicions about alien tech. "Maya, you need to see this. Remember that resonance pattern you noticed in Arcturian power cells? I just found the same pattern in a scrapped Zenla drive core. It's not a manufacturing defect. It's a quantum signature." Maya's heart raced. "Send me everything. And Harrison, don't share this with anyone else." Not yet. As the data streamed in, Maya felt the pieces of a cosmic puzzle shifting into place. The aliens had built their technologies to be incompatible, each species defending their own technological sovereignty. But in doing so, they'd accidentally created something greater, a technological ecosystem just waiting for someone to see the connections. ARIA, update Project Harmony parameters with this new data, and prep the testing chamber. I think it's time to try something impossible. The A's response held a note of what might have been excitement. Testing chamber prepped. Though I feel compelled to note that we will be violating approximately 1,547 regulations. Maya looked at her schematic one last time, a design that blended technologies in ways their creators had specifically engineered to be impossible. But humanity had always excelled at doing the impossible. Sometimes, she said softly, you have to break the rules to show people why they wrote them wrong in the first place. Deep in her testing chamber, Maya stared at a sight that should have been impossible. The quantum resonance matrix she'd built from salvaged alien tech wasn't just working, it was singing. Different species technologies, designed to reject each other at the most fundamental level, were harmonizing like an orchestra finding its rhythm. Power efficiency at 300% of theoretical maximum, ARIA reported, also detecting several forms of radiation that technically don't exist. Maya circled the humming assembly, her augmented vision picking out the intricate dance of energies between components. They were so focused on keeping their technologies pure, they never saw what they could become together. Each species developed their tech to vibrate at specific quantum frequencies, but they all left gaps. Human neural patterns appear to be bridging those gaps, ARIA noted. Though I feel compelled to point out that using human brainwave patterns as a quantum template violates at least 89 different patents. A warning light flashed on Maya's console. Security sensors had detected an approaching ship. Registry marked it as belonging to the Arcturian Science Ministry. They weren't due for an inspection for another 3 months. Unexpected visitors, ARIA announced. Dr. Ixel of the Arcturian Science Ministry requests immediate access. Their scanners detected what they refer to as quantum anomalies from our last test. Maya quickly initiated shutdown procedures, but not fast enough. The testing chamber's door slid open to reveal a tall, ethereal figure. Dr. Ixel's crystalline form shifted colors in the chamber's light, their sensory arrays visibly disturbed by what they were detecting. Mechanic Chen. Ixel's translated voice held notes of both accusation and fascination. You appear to be generating quantum harmonics that should be mutually exclusive. Explain. Maya considered her options. The Arcturians were known for their scientific curiosity. Sometimes it overrode even their dedication to regulatory compliance. Would you like to see something interesting, Dr. Ixel? Without waiting for a response, she reactivated a small portion of her test assembly. The components hummed to life, their energies weaving together in patterns that made Ixel's crystalline form resonate in sympathy. Impossible, Ixel whispered. These technologies are fundamentally incompatible. The quantum signatures are only incompatible because everyone assumed they had to be. Maya finished. Look at this. She projected a holographic model of the quantum frequencies. Every species developed their technology to operate at distinct frequencies, yes. But look at the gaps between them. Ixel's sensory arrays shifted, analyzing the data. The gaps, they form a pattern. A pattern that matches human neural oscillations, Maya confirmed. We can bridge those gaps, create harmonics that let different technologies work together. Everything you've discarded as defective. Those flaws are actually connection points. The Arcturian scientist was silent for a long moment, their crystalline forms cycling through colors Maya had never seen before. This research, it challenges everything we believe about technological development. The implications could change everything, Maya said, but only if we're allowed to explore them. The Regulatory Commission would shut this down immediately, Ixel finished. Their entire framework is built on keeping technologies separate. The scientist's form settled into a deep blue shade. I should report this. Maya held her breath. Everything hinged on this moment. However, Ixel continued. As a scientist, I have a duty to investigate unprecedented phenomena. Perhaps we could classify this as a theoretical research project. A smile spread across Maya's face. I have some other theories you might find interesting. Araya showed Dr. Ixel the full Project Harmony schematics. The air filled with complex holographic models, showing how different species technologies could interweave and enhance each other. Ixel moved through the displays with growing excitement. Their crystalline form pulsing with colors, Maya assumed represented intense scientific curiosity. This is beyond theoretical harmonics, Ixel declared. You're proposing a complete restructuring of how we approach technological development. The energy efficiency alone could solve resource constraints across the galaxy. Maya finished. But that's just the beginning. Each species developed their technology to solve specific problems. If we can get them working together, we could solve all of them. Ixel's translation unit actually crackled with excitement. But we would need more data, more components. I might know some other humans who've noticed similar patterns, Maya said carefully. Mechanics and researchers who've been collecting their own data. Ixel's form shifted to a thoughtful purple. The Regulatory Commission monitors all official research channels. But perhaps, as a purely academic exercise, we could establish some unofficial information exchange protocols. Maya's grin widened. She'd just gained something more valuable than any piece of salvaged tech, an ally within the scientific establishment. Dr. Ixel, I think this is the beginning of a very interesting collaboration. As they began discussing details, Maya's mind was already racing ahead to the possibilities. With Arcturian scientific expertise combined with human innovation, Project Harmony might evolve into something far greater than she'd initially imagined. Araya, she sub-vocalized. Send encrypted messages to Harrison and the others. Tell them things are about to get interesting. The A's response held a definite note of amusement, calculating probable regulatory violations for this new development. Current estimate, all of them. The news spread through human mechanic networks like wildfire through vacuum, not through official channels. Those were too closely monitored, but through a web of coded maintenance requests and buried data packets in routine transmissions. Maya's discovery had confirmed what many had suspected. Humanity could bridge the technological gaps the aliens had created. Another successful test, Maya announced, watching as the prototype drive core pulsed with impossible energies. Dr. Ixel's crystalline form shifted through shades of excitement as their sensors recorded the data. The efficiency ratings are beyond anything in recorded history, the Arcturian scientist declared. Though I'm still not entirely certain how you've convinced a Zenla particle accelerator to cooperate with a Venlaxian quantum matrix. They always wanted to work together, Maya explained, adjusting a control interface she built from salvaged parts. The species that built them just never gave them the chance. Area, what's our current status? Power output stable at 724% of theoretical maximum, the AI reported, also detecting interest from several major scientific institutions. Our energy signature is distinctive. Maya frowned. They'd been careful to mask their tests, but there was only so much you could hide when you were breaking fundamental laws of physics. How many? 17 separate scan attempts in the last hour. Also, the Regulatory Commission has scheduled an emergency session. Topic: Unauthorized energy anomalies in human sectors. The workshop door chimed, then slid open to reveal Harrison, Maya's fellow mechanic from Europa Station. His usually calm face was tight with tension. They're catching on. The Venlaxians just impounded 3 human repair shops for safety violations. They're scared, Maya said, studying the drive core's pulsing heart. Not of what we're doing, but of what it means. Every species built their technology to be exclusive. It was about control as much as engineering. We're not just breaking their physical laws, We're breaking their political ones. The Commission will act soon, Ixel warned, their crystalline form darkening with concern. My contacts in the Science Ministry report increasing pressure for a crackdown on human technological development. Maya's augmented vision highlighted the patterns of energy flowing through their prototype, patterns that proved everything the galaxy's powers believed about technology was wrong. She couldn't let them shut this down, not when they were so close to something revolutionary. Then we need to move faster, she decided. Harrison, contact every mechanic in the network. Tell them to document everything, every compatible component, every resonance pattern, every impossible repair that worked better than it should have. Ixel, how quickly can you get that data to sympathetic scientists in other species? The Arcturian's form rippled with determination. There are many who value discovery over doctrine. If we can prove the validity of your theories. A priority alert flashed across Maya's vision. Incoming transmission, Araya announced. Origin, Galactic Regulatory Commission Central Authority. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the stern visage of High Commissioner Vaxren, their metallic features set in lines of grave concern. Mechanic Chen, we have detected unusual energy signatures from your facility. Signatures that suggest violations of multiple technological segregation protocols. Maya straightened, meeting the Commissioner's gaze. With respect, Commissioner, those protocols are based on flawed assumptions. We've discovered. You have discovered nothing. Vaxren cut in. You have merely demonstrated humanity's dangerous tendency to meddle with forces beyond your comprehension. A team of compliance officers is en route to your location. They will confiscate any unauthorized technology and suspend all human repair licenses pending review. The transmission cut off. Maya turned to her allies, mind racing through possibilities. How long? Compliance vessels will arrive in approximately 47 minutes, Araya calculated. Though I feel compelled to note that they are bringing significantly more firepower than standard protocol requires. They mean to make an example of us, Harrison muttered. Shut us down so hard no human mechanic will dare try anything innovative again. Maya walked to her workbench and pressed her palm to a hidden scanner. A concealed panel slid open, revealing a data crystal glowing with stored information. Then let's make sure our example teaches a different lesson. Araya, execute Protocol Omega. Throughout the workshop, systems began powering up. The prototype drive core's hum deepened, its energy patterns shifting into new configurations. Harrison's eyes widened as he realized what she was planning. You finished it, he breathed. The theoretical design you showed me last month. Not theoretical anymore. Maya confirmed, her augmented vision highlighting the final connections forming between systems. Why do you think they're really coming? Their long-range sensors must have picked up the test flight preparations. Ixel's crystalline form pulsed with a mixture of excitement and alarm. You intend to launch. Now, the design hasn't been properly tested. No time like the present, Maya said, activating the final sequence. Besides, humans have a long history of doing our best work under pressure. Harrison, get word to the others. Tell them to watch the skies in about. She checked the countdown. 44 minutes. The prototype ship was small, barely larger than a standard shuttle. But within its hull, technologies from across the galaxy sang together in harmony, ready to prove that cooperation was stronger than isolation. Loading final configurations, Araya announced. Though I feel compelled to note that this course of action will violate approximately 3,742 regulations. Also, Dr. Ixel's crystalline structure suggests they are experiencing what humans would call a panic attack. Maya smiled, taking her place at the controls. Sometimes the only way to change the rules is to break them spectacularly enough that everyone has to pay attention. The compliance fleet dropped out of hyperspace exactly on schedule, a dozen heavily armed vessels bristling with regulatory authority. They found Maya's workshop empty, its systems powered down, except for a single holographic message playing on loop. Looking for us. Maya's recorded image smiled. Look up. High above the outpost, Maya's prototype ship hung like a dream made real, its hull rippling with energies that shouldn't exist. Inside, she watched the compliance fleet's arrival through monitors that blended alien sensor technologies in ways their creators had never imagined. Multiple weapons systems targeting us, Araya reported, though their targeting computers appear to be having difficulty maintaining lock. Apparently, we don't exist according to their standard protocols. Mechanic Chen, High Commissioner Vaxren's voice crackled through the comm. Your actions constitute a Class 1 violation of technological segregation laws. Power down immediately and prepare for boarding. Maya opened a channel to all frequencies, not just official ones, but every communication system used by every species in range. I have a counter-proposal. Watch this. She engaged the hybrid drive. Reality bent. The ship didn't just move, it danced. Distance became suggestion. Space itself seemed to hold its breath as human neural patterns conducted an orchestra of alien technologies in perfect harmony. They appeared near Saturn's rings, then Mars' orbit, then the outskirts of Alpha Centauri, all within seconds. Each jump should have been impossible. Each transition should have torn the ship apart. Instead, the various technologies sang together, growing stronger with each impossible feat. Energy efficiency now at 1,247% of theoretical maximum, Araya announced, also detecting significant confusion from pursuing vessels. They appear to be having an existential crisis. Incoming transmission from Dr. Harrison. The AI continued. Human mechanics across 3 sectors are reporting successful activation of hybrid systems. It seems your broadcast included more than just a demonstration. Maya smiled. The plans and principles they'd discovered had been encoded in their ship's energy signatures. Any human mechanic with the right equipment could see the patterns, understand the possibilities. Multiple emergency broadcasts detected, Araya reported. The Regulatory Commission is declaring a galaxy-wide technological emergency. The Science Ministry is demanding immediate investigation of unprecedented harmonics. And, oh my, the Arcturian High Council is calling for an emergency session to discuss, quote, fundamental reconsideration of established technological doctrine. Through the view screen, Maya watched the compliance fleet struggle to match their maneuvers, their ships constrained by artificial limitations their own creators had imposed. Send a message to Commissioner Vaxren. Tell them we're happy to power down and discuss matters, after they acknowledge 2 things. First, humanity's license to repair and modify technology will be fully restored and expanded. Second, a new division will be established, the Technological Harmony Initiative, with full authority to explore cross-species engineering, with humans as equal partners, not subordinates. The response was immediate and predictable. Absolutely not. This flagrant violation of half of what you just saw is already spreading through human networks. Maya interrupted. We're not asking permission to explore these possibilities. We're offering you the chance to be part of guiding how they're implemented. A new voice cut in. Dr. Ixel, broadcasting from their own ship somewhere in the chaos. High Commissioner, as a senior researcher in the Science Ministry, I must point out that attempt to suppress this development would be futile. The principles Mechanic Chen has demonstrated. They change everything we thought we knew about technological compatibility. These laws exist for a reason. Vaxren insisted, but their voice held less certainty. Yes, Maya agreed. They exist because everyone assumed they were necessary. We've proved they're not. Every species developed their technology to solve problems. Imagine what we could solve if we stopped fighting each other and started working together. Silence stretched across the comm channels. Throughout human space, mechanics were already beginning to experiment with the principles Maya's demonstration had revealed. The genie wasn't just out of the bottle. It was rewriting the laws of physics. The Arcturian High Council has voted. Ixel's voice held notes of wonder. They're calling for an immediate review of technological segregation protocols. The Venlaxian Science Academy. They're demanding access to your research data. The Zenla Consortium is offering full technological exchange rights. Maya watched the compliance fleet's weapons power down, their rigid formations relaxing. Commissioner, your choice. Fight a future that's already arriving, or help us build it right. Another long pause. Finally, Vaxren spoke, their voice holding a mix of resignation and reluctant admiration. The Regulatory Commission will convene an emergency session to discuss humanity's proposal. And Mechanic Chen. Yes, Commissioner. That ship of yours, it shouldn't work. It cannot work. And yet, a sound that might have been a sigh. Perhaps it's time we all learn to think a little more. Impossibly. 6 months after the Harmony incident, as historians were already calling it, Maya stood in the newly established Technological Harmony Center, watching representatives from 17 species argue about the proper way to integrate a Zenla power core with Venlaxian quantum matrices. "You're all overthinking it," she called out, unable to help herself. "The technologies want to work together. Stop trying to force them, and start listening to how they resonate." The massive chamber, built from architecture styles of a dozen different species, had become the heart of a revolution. What had started with scrapped parts in a frontier workshop had blossomed into something none of them had imagined possible. Latest statistics update. Araya announced privately through Maya's neural link. Hybrid technology implementation has improved energy efficiency across connected systems by an average of 847%. Technological exchange programs have been established in 89% of major spaceports. Also, the Regulatory Commission has filed 427 complaints about excessive innovation this week alone. Maya smiled. The complaints were mostly ceremonial now. Even the strictest regulators couldn't deny the results. Ships flew faster, colonies thrived with better resource management, and problems that had plagued individual species for centuries were being solved through collaboration. Mechanic Chen. She turned to find High Commissioner Vaxren approaching, their metallic features set in what she'd learned to recognize as wry amusement. "The Science Ministry has requested your presence at their next session. Apparently, some of your human colleagues have discovered a way to use Arcturian crystalline matrices to enhance neural interface efficiency. The Ministry's researchers are distressed by the impossibility of it." "Tell them that's just the beginning," Maya replied. "Dr. Harrison's team on Europa has some theories about using quantum harmonics for faster-than-light communication, though you might want to wait until after their current project succeeds before mentioning that. You assume it will succeed. It's humans working with alien tech that everyone says is impossible to combine. Of course it will succeed." A commotion near the center's entrance drew their attention. A group of young aliens, students from the newly established Cross-Species Engineering Academy, were clustered around a work table. A human teenager was showing them how to modify a standard power cell, her hands moving with the confidence that came from seeing possibilities where others saw only rules. "That's the real breakthrough, isn't it?" Vaxren observed quietly. "Not just the technology, but this harmony between species." Maya nodded. The center had become more than a research facility. It was a symbol of what could happen when artificial barriers fell away. In workshops and labs across the galaxy, humans were teaching aliens to see technology differently, while aliens shared centuries of accumulated knowledge that humans were only beginning to understand. Incoming priority message. ARIA interrupted. Dr. Ixel's team has successfully tested the first large-scale hybrid dry system. They're requesting your presence for the official announcement. Before Maya could respond, another alert flashed across her vision. Then another, and another. Multiple breakthroughs reported in the last hour. ARIA continued, something like excitement in its synthetic voice. A Venlaxian human team has achieved stable quantum entanglement across interstellar distances. The Zenla Consortium reports successful integration of biological and mechanical systems using human neural patterns as a bridge. The Arcturian Science Ministry has registered 47 new patents for hybrid technologies in the last day alone. It's accelerating, Maya said softly. Each discovery leads to 3 more. Each collaboration opens new possibilities. Some still resist. Vaxren noted. There are those who believe we're moving too fast, changing too much. Maya watched the young engineers at work, seeing the future taking shape in their shared excitement and determination. We spent too long believing differences meant division. Technology doesn't care about species or politics or regulations. It just wants to work, to solve problems, and make things better. All we had to do was stop fighting that. Her hand went to the data crystal she still wore, the one containing her original discoveries. It seemed so simple now, but those first patterns she'd noticed in discarded tech had started something that couldn't be stopped. Besides, she added with a grin, humans have never been good at moving slowly once we see a better way forward. A soft chime indicated another breakthrough announcement waiting for her attention. And another. And another. Throughout the center, similar alerts were sounding as more barriers fell and more possibilities opened up. "Erae," she said, "send a message to all project leads. Tell them to meet me in the main lab in 1 hour. I have some ideas about where we go next. Calculating probable regulatory violations for your new proposals," the AI responded. "Though I feel compelled to note that the regulations seem to be having trouble keeping up with reality these days."